What up, friends? Welcome back. Another edition of PGA Tour Prop Picks for oddschecker.com/US. I am Geoff Fienberg. We are back at it this week for the Sony Open. Last week's prop picks, quite profitable. I always love when the prop picks can help supplement the outright losses that we take when getting in on the golf tournaments. Don't forget, like this video, sub to the channel so these can drop right into your feed as soon as they become available each week from oddschecker.com/US. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into it. No time to lollygag because I got a pretty loaded prop card this week. We'll start it right off with the Irishman, Seamus Powers. We're going to play Seamus in two props. We're going to get right out of the gate picking on Billy Horschel, a player many people are picking to win this week. Well, the ceiling play on Billy is something I could definitely believe in and wouldn't be shocked. It is the consistency of Seamus' power that is something I am willing to back this week. Seamus takes down Billy, minus 112 for Seamus over Billy. You think maybe the name value of Billy could have gotten us some plus money here. Not the case. I absolutely love how Seamus, how his game suits a place like Waialae, how his game has improved in the last half a year. He seems to be entering a different class of player at the moment, and a player I almost thought about betting outright. I did bet Seamus on the T20 as well, plus 210. Seamus has a T25 in 11 of his last 15 starts. As I've mentioned, that last half year, we've seen a totally different player going to a place that I think suits him well. Got that run in last week at TOC. That always helps. Hate to have to pick on Billy in that head-to-head, but that's what I am doing to invest in Seamus' power. Keep going. Jason Kochrack, a player that we put on our outright card this week at 55-1, hoping Jason can come home with the victory. As we mentioned in that bet, he hasn't been playing great, but it's kind of a ceiling play on a player like Jason Kochrack in this field at that number. And you could take how I analyze the outright pick and say, maybe it's not the safest prop market to be investing in Jason, but that's exactly what I did, guys. I played Jason Kochrack plus T20, plus T20. Wow. T20 plus 225. That just seemed like too nice of a number for the T20 on Jason Kochrack. Can maybe supplement that outright ticket if he isn't able to win. But credit to the Tour Junkies for this great little nugget here. The most recent Jason Kochrack wins, all three of them from the last Tour season. All of them came off finishes of 49th place or worse. So maybe we shouldn't over-exaggerate last week's struggles at the TOC for Jason. A nice little warm-up, get that flow going, and now he goes to a course that I think he can attack. And right there, 3 wins off of finishes essentially T50 or worse. So I believe in the bounce back for Jason, and that's why we're getting in on the T20. Okay, we got to keep this going. We got more props. Tom Hoge plus T20 plus 330. Tom Hoge, T20 plus 330. If you check out the long shots column, it's going to be up on the Odds Checker feed right now, where the team of us golf guys at Odds Checker gave our favorite long shots of the week. I made Tom Hoge mine without making him on my outright picks card earlier in the week. Well, now we're going to add Hoge to the outright card at 100-1, but here we're saying specifically T20 plus 330. Hoagie's approach stats have just been unconscious. You cannot ignore the consistent approach stats of Tom Hoge. The fact that he has a 4th place and a 12th place in the last 4 years here. Let's get that approach stat with some putt luck and a little bit of course confidence. It's a bit of a mixed bag with Hoge at Waialae, but we see the ability to spike at Waialae, and that's what we're banking on, especially for the outright. So if those things come together, we're going to have a big Sunday sweat, I feel, with Tom Hoge. Another head-to-head. I know I'm kind of all over the map here, friends. I apologize for that. It's just a crowded prop card. Taylor Gooch over Kevin Kisner, minus 115. Gooch, another guy that we bet to win this week, plus 35-1. Go check out my video with Rick Gehman already. I've made 5 outright selections documented. You should see those below, but Go watch the video as Rick and I break down this week's tournament from an outright betting perspective. Gooch over Kiz. Kiz, fantastic week last week. Gooch gets that top 15. Kisner comes off a top 10. I would argue Kisner got absolutely as much as he could have out of his game last week. But I think this course sets up even better, well, for both of them, but specifically Taylor Gooch this week, guys. I like Seamus Power. I just believe we're trending into a different class of player right now on the ceiling that is Taylor Gooch. I'm going to continue to back Taylor Gooch. We had him on the prop card last week. We're bringing him back to the prop card this week. Taylor Gooch over the Kiz, minus 115. I know I'm picking on Billy. I'm picking on Kiz. Two guys that many would think check a lot of boxes for Wildlife. Well, we'll see. Good luck, Fienberg. We're going to keep going on in a couple markets I don't really venture in too often. These are two guys I almost bet on this week. You can't bet on everybody. I guess you could be like, if you're going to bet on them, that's pretty fast to just be going T40 on them. But Aaron Ray, plus 140 on the T40 this week, and Mav McNeely, minus 120 on the T40. I'm hoping this one's going to be like stealing from a baby a little bit. Both of these guys have such clean games that I think can work perfectly at Waialae. Very safe, very conservative investments on these two players, but those are the type of players I see them, just immaculate iron players. I don't really see trouble finding their way for them. I'm quite confident both of them play the weekend. I'm investing in quite heavily in both of them on a DFS perspective, as I am a lot of the guys that I've mentioned here today. But looking at that top 40 market, I love seeing it up on the odds checker page. You can see some discrepancies out there. These are two that I identified that I wanted to get on, and two players that I will be playing more heavily in DFS aspect. Lastly, on the way out here, friends, I'm going Mark Leishman, top Australian, plus 270. I think there's an opportunity here. Leishman would very well win this whole freaking thing. And the betting numbers on Leishman would indicate that this week. But Matt Jones, maybe a little overinflated situation this week. Obviously, we're going to have to outduel Cameron Smith here. But Mark Leishman, top Australian, plus 270. That one's available over at FanDuel, as well as those head-to-head props. Seamus over Kiz was at FanDuel as well, which I don't believe I mentioned. And most of those T20s, Bet365 coming in hot. I love that odds checker grid, getting me the best numbers, not just on my outrights, on my props. That was a full prop sheet. If you missed anything or it went whoop, because sometimes it does that for me too, just check the list below. They'll all be there with the corresponding wager size that I got as well. Let's hope we bag an outright, but if we don't, let's have another week where the prop card really props us up. Let's get it. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Golf season, we're right into the madness now. We'll be on mainland next week out in California for PGA West, and then it is off and running full steam. Let's go. Fienberg out.